For years, Sam Heughan was untouchable. He wasn't just a star, he was an icon. From the rugged hills of Scotland to the glittering lights of Hollywood, Sam carried with him an image polished to perfection. Humble, generous, devoted to his craft, adored by millions. His name became synonymous with integrity, and his face was the very embodiment of the romantic hero. But that golden image began to crack the moment the words, "tax probe," entered the narrative. It started as whispers, industry gossip, hushed speculation in the corners of entertainment newsrooms. But soon, it erupted into full-blown scandal. Sam Heughan, the clean-cut heartthrob of Outlander, was under investigation for alleged tax evasion. The headlines were relentless. Sam Heughan caught in financial firestorm. Millions missing? Authorities investigate actors' accounts. From hero to suspect, the fall of a star. For his fans, it was unthinkable. For his peers, it was unsettling. For Caitriona Balfe, it was devastating. The collapse of Sam's image wasn't just about money. It was about trust. For nearly a decade, audiences believed in him not just as Jamie Fraser, but as Sam Heughan the man. A figure who embodied authenticity in an industry often accused of artifice. He was the charity ambassador, the loyal co-star, the man who always seemed above Hollywood's toxic games. Now, all of that was in question. The tax probe dominated headlines for weeks. Rumors swirled about secret offshore accounts, shadowy advisors, and millions in undeclared income. Each new, exclusive, dug the hole deeper, painting Sam as someone who had not only failed his fans but betrayed the very values that made him a star. The public backlash was swift. Hashtags like #Justice for Sam trended alongside #SamExposed. Comment sections filled with debates, some fiercely defending him, others condemning him without hesitation. "He's human, give him a chance," clashed with another celebrity thinking they're above the law. Through it all, Sam remained silent. No interviews, no tweets, no carefully crafted PR statements. Just silence. And in that silence, the world turned to Caitriona Balfe. Caitriona wasn't just his co-star, she was his partner in storytelling, his confidant in the whirlwind of fame. The other half of the on-screen magic that turned Outlander into a cultural phenomenon. Fans saw them as inseparable. Where Sam went, Caitriona was never far behind. But now, as his image collapsed, she stood alone in the spotlight. Reporters hounded her at premieres. "Do you believe Sam is guilty?" Fans bombarded her social media. "Please say something. Defend him." Paparazzi snapped photos of her looking weary, burdened, her eyes betraying the turmoil within. At first, Caitriona said nothing. She smiled for cameras, posed on red carpets, and moved through events with poise. But her silence only fueled speculation. Was she distancing herself to protect her own career? Was she heartbroken behind closed doors? Or was she silently supporting Sam in a way the world couldn't see? Insiders whispered that Caitriona was struggling more than anyone realized. One close associate revealed. She was shattered. She never expected to see Sam's name in a scandal like this. It felt like the man she knew, the man she trusted, was being ripped apart before her eyes. It wasn't just about reputation. It was about friendship, about loyalty, about the bond they had built over years of long days on set and nights filled with laughter, confessions, and trust. And now, that bond was being tested in ways neither of them could have imagined. As the tax probe deepened, Caitriona faced an impossible choice: stay silent and risk being accused of betrayal, or speak up and tie her name to a scandal that could swallow them both. Her silence couldn't last forever. And when she finally broke it, the world would hear not just her words, but the sound of a heart quietly breaking. Caitriona Balfe had weathered storms before. Years in Hollywood had taught her how to navigate gossip, speculation, and the constant hum of curiosity. But nothing had prepared her for this. Watching her co-star, her trusted friend, the man she'd built an empire of on-screen love with, unravel under a scandal that seemed to grow darker by the day. For weeks, she tried to keep her composure. She went to events, sat for interviews, and smiled through the questions. But behind closed doors, the toll was unmistakable. A close friend later confided. She was shattered. She kept saying, "This isn't the Sam I know. How could this be happening?" It broke her to see the world turn against him. The headlines never slowed. Each day brought new speculation, alleged evidence, anonymous sources, even whispers of possible charges. And each day, Caitriona's silence became harder to bear. Fans were begging for her to speak. The press hounded her mercilessly. Would she defend him? Would she condemn him? Finally, she did neither. She did something harder. She told the truth, her truth. In a televised interview promoting her latest project, Caitriona was asked the inevitable question: "How has Sam's situation affected you personally?" For a moment, she froze. Her hands folded in her lap, her eyes dropped to the floor. When she finally looked up, her voice cracked ever so slightly. "It's devastating to see someone you care about go through this. I don't know what the truth is about all these reports. What I do know is the Sam I worked with for nearly a decade is loyal, kind, and generous. Watching his image collapse like this, it breaks my heart." Those words echoed across headlines. Fans dissected them endlessly. Some praised her courage for standing by him. Others accused her of being evasive, unwilling to call him innocent outright. But no matter the interpretation, the emotion in her voice was undeniable. Caitriona Balfe was hurting. Behind that heartbreak was a deeper fear. Sources close to her claimed she worried not just for Sam's career, but for the man himself. His silence, his retreat from the public, his refusal to issue strong denials, all of it weighed heavily on her. She was terrified that the world's judgment would crush him beyond repair. In private, Caitriona tried to reach him. She sent messages, voicemails, words of encouragement. But friends say Sam, consumed by lawyers and the media circus, often didn't respond. That silence cut deep. It wasn't just the scandal tearing them apart, it was the distance. Still, Caitriona refused to turn her back. Her words weren't fiery, but they were steadfast. She reminded the world of the man she knew, even as the world painted him with suspicion. She reminded fans that scandals are stories, but behind those stories are people. "I can't tell you what will happen next," she said softly. "But I can tell you that I will never forget the friend Sam has been to me. And I hope the world remembers that side of him too." It wasn't a declaration of loyalty, nor was it a betrayal. It was something in between, a reflection of heartbreak, of love and friendship tested by forces neither of them could control. For Caitriona, the tax probe wasn't just Sam's scandal. It was her wound too. The collapse of his image cast shadows on her memories, her trust, and her heart. She had stood beside him as he built a legacy of admiration, and now she stood watching that legacy crumble, powerless to stop it. And in that quiet devastation, fans saw something rare. Not an actress speaking lines, but a woman grieving for a man she once thought untouchable. Caitriona Balfe was shattered. Not because Sam was guilty or innocent. Not because of the headlines. But because when his image collapsed under the weight of scandal, the bond they shared collapsed with it, leaving only the ache of silence and the fragile hope that somehow, someday, he would rise again.